Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video. In this video, we're going to go through the video solutions to the cost per kilogram practice questions. If you need any extra help on cost per kilogram, go to corbettmaths.com/contents and scroll down to video number 400K, and there's a dedicated video tutorial there on cost per kilogram. Alternatively, you could scan this QR code. But in this video, we're going to focus on the solutions to the practice questions, so let's get started. So question number 1, it's a non-calculator question, so I'm putting down my calculator, and it says 1 kilogram of carrots costs 52 pence. Jim buys 4 kilograms of carrots. How much does Jim pay? So 1 kilogram costs 52p, so 4 kilograms would be 4 times that price because he's buying 4 lots of 1 kilogram. So we need to do 4 times 52. So if we do 52 multiplied by 4, that'll be the price. 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 5 is 20. So it'll be 208 pence or £2 8 pence. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at question number 2. Question number 2 says 1 kilogram of broccoli costs £2.50. Jenny buys 3.5 kilograms of broccoli. How much does she pay? So 1 kilogram costs £2.50. So if we want to work out the cost of 3.5 kilograms, we just need to multiply £2.50 by 3.5 because it's 3.5 kilograms. So it's going to be 3.5 lots of £2.50. So let's do that. So £2.50 multiplied by 3.5, and it's a calculator question, so that's quite nice. So £2.50 multiplied by 3.5 is equal to £8.75. So the answer is £8.75, and that's it. Okay, let's look at question number 3. So question number 3 says 5 kilograms of mince costs £47. Tim buys 4 kilograms of mince. How much does Tim pay? So in this question, it'd be really useful if we could work out the cost of 1 kilogram of mince. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the cost of £47 and we're going to divide it by 5. And if we divide it by 5, that'll tell us the cost for 1 kilogram of mince. So £47 divided by 5 is equal to £9.40. So that's £9.40 per kilo, per kg. Now we want to find the cost of 4 kilograms because Tim buys 4 kilograms of mince. So that means we need to buy 4 kilograms. It's £9.40 per kilogram. So if we multiply £9.40 by 4, that'll be the cost. So £9.40 multiplied by 4 is equal to £37 and 60 pence. So the cost for 4 kilograms of mince would be £37 and 60 pence. So let's write that down, £37 and 60 pence. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 4. So question number 4 says 1 kilogram of sweet potato costs £1.40 and 1 kilogram of mushrooms costs £3.20. Work out the cost of 3.2 kilograms of sweet potato and 0.4 kilograms of mushrooms. So in this question, we're buying sweet potato and mushrooms. So let's focus on the sweet potato to begin with. So we buy 3.2 kilograms and each kilogram costs £1.40. So if we multiply £1.40 by 3.2, that's the cost of the sweet potato. So we'll take our £1.40 and we'll multiply by 3.2. So we just multiply the cost by how much we're buying. And £1.40 multiplied by 3.2 is equal to £4.48. So the sweet potato will cost £4.48. Now in terms of the mushrooms, each kilogram of mushroom costs £3.20. And we'll multiply that by how much we buy, which is 0.4 kilograms. And £3.20 multiplied by 0.4 is equal to £1.28. So it's £1.28 for the mushrooms. Now we want to work out the total cost. We'll add those two prices together. So we'll add the £4.48 plus the £1.28, and that's equal to £5.76. So £5.76. So the cost would be the total cost of 3.2 kilograms of sweet potato and 0.4 kilograms of mushrooms would be £5.76. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So question number 5, it's a non-calculator question, so I put my calculator down. And we've got bananas cost 45p each, and grapes cost £4.10p per kilogram, and peaches cost £3.80 per kilogram. And Andrew wants to buy 3 bananas, 2 kilograms of grapes, and half a kilogram of peaches. Find the total cost. So let's start off with the bananas. He buys 3 bananas and they cost 45p each. So we could do 45 plus 45 plus 45, or we could do 45 times 3. Either approach would work. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 is equal to 15. So put our 5 down, carry our 1. And 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12 plus 1 is 13. So it costs 135 pence for the bananas, or that would be £1.35. That's how much the bananas cost for 3 of them. Now, in terms of, let's write bananas out, bananas. Now, in terms of the grapes, we're wanting to buy 2 kilograms of grapes, and the grapes cost £4.10p per kilogram. So it's £4.10p for a kilogram. We're buying 2 kilograms, that's 2 lots of £4.10p. So we're going to double the £4.10p, or we're going to take our £4.10p and we'll multiply by 2 because we're buying 2 kilograms, and that'll be equal to £8.20. We could have done £4.10p plus £4.10p there, or I've just done £4.10p times by 2, which is equal to £8.20. So the grapes will cost £8.20 for 2 kilograms. And finally, for the peaches, well, the peaches cost £3.80 per kilogram, and we're buying half a kilogram of peaches. So we're buying half a kilogram. So we're not buying a whole kilogram, we're buying half a kilogram. So if a whole kilogram costs £3.80, if we want to find the cost of half a kilogram, we'll just half that. So we need to divide £3.80 by 2. We need to half it to find the cost of half a kilogram. So if we take our £3.80, or 380 pence, and we divide that by 2. So 2 into 3 goes once, remainder 1. 2 into 18 goes 9 times, and 2 into 0 goes 0 times. So that means it would cost 190 pence, or £1.90. So for the peaches, it would cost £1.90. So £1.90 for the peaches, because it's half a kilogram, so it's half that price. So that would be £1.90. So now we need to find the total cost. So we need to add together our £1.90, our £1.35, and our £8.20. So let's do that. So £8.20, our £1.35, and our £1.90, and we'll add those together and see what we get. So 0 plus 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 9 is 14, so let's put our 4 down and carry our 1. And 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So the total cost would be £11.45, and that's it. So the total cost would be £11.45. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 6. So question number 6 says, in a shop, broccoli costs £2 per kilogram and potatoes cost 90p per kilogram. And Fozia buys 7 kilograms of potatoes and some broccoli. So they buy 7 kilograms of potatoes and just some broccoli. We don't know how much broccoli. And the total cost is £12.30. So we know the total cost. How much broccoli does Fozia buy? So to start off with, we know that Fozia buys 7 kilograms of potatoes and they cost 90p per kilogram. So if we multiply 90 by 7, we can find the costs of the 7 kilograms of potatoes. So if we take our 90p and we multiply by 7, so 7 times 0 is 0, and 7 times 9 is equal to 63. So it costs 630 pence, or £6.30. So that means the potatoes cost £6.30. So that's how much he spends on potatoes. Now the total cost is £12.30. So let's take away the cost of the potatoes away from the total cost. So £12.30 subtract £6.30, and that would tell us how much money Fozia spent on broccoli. So 0 take away 0 is 0, 3 take away 3 is 0, 2 take away 6 we can't do, so let's borrow. So we've got 12 take away 6, and that's equal to 6. So that means that Fozia spent £6 on broccoli. So he spent £6 on broccoli, and it costs £2 per kilogram. So that means that every single time Fozia spends £2, they get a kilogram of broccoli. So if we divide the cost of £6 by £2, that would tell us how many kilograms of broccoli Fozia will get. So 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So that means that Fozia bought 3 kilograms of broccoli, and that's it. And let's check our answer. If we take the 3 kilograms and multiply by 2, that's £6. And then if we take our 90p and multiply by 7, that's going to be £6.30. And if we add the £6 and the £6.30 together, we get £12.30. So that means that Fozia bought 3 kilograms of broccoli. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 7. So question number 7 is a calculator question, and we're told that 4.2 kilograms of almonds cost £41.37p. We've been asked to work out the cost of 1.8 kilograms of almonds. So what we're going to do in this question is we're going to find the cost of 1 kilogram of almonds. So let's divide the cost, the £41.37, by how many kilograms of almonds that were bought, which was 4.2. And if we divide £41.37p by 4.2, we'll find the cost per kilogram of the almonds. So £41.37p divided by 4.2, that would tell us the cost per kilogram of the almonds. So £41.37p divided by 4.2 is equal to £9.85. So that means it's £9.85 per kilogram of almonds, so per kg. Now we've been asked to work out the cost of 1.8 kilograms of almonds. So we just need to multiply the cost per kilogram by how many kilograms are bought to find the cost of the almonds. So if we take our £9.85 and we multiply that by 1.8, that'll be the cost for the 1.8 kilograms of almonds. So we'll multiply by 1.8, and that's equal to £17.73p. So £17.73p. So that's our answer. Okay, let's have a look at question number 8. So question number 8 said blueberries cost £11 per kilogram. I've been asked to work out the cost of 750 grams of blueberries. Now in this question, we can approach it in different ways. Because it's 750 grams, I know straight away that's 3/4 of a kilogram, because half a kilogram is 500 grams. So that means that 750 grams would be equal to 3/4 of a kilogram. And that's just something I think is important to know off by heart, that half a kilogram is 500 grams, 1/4 of a kilogram is equal to 250 grams, 3/4 of a kilogram is equal to 750 grams, and so on. And we've been asked to work out the cost of 3/4 of a kilogram of blueberries, and we know that each kilogram costs £11. So if we multiply the cost per kilogram, the £11, by how many kilograms we're buying, which is 3/4 of a kilogram, we'll find the cost of 3/4 of a kilogram, or 750 grams of blueberries. So let's do that. So 11 multiplied by 3/4 is equal to £8.25. £8.25. So that means that 750 grams of blueberries would cost £8.25. Now, in this question, we could have approached it in different ways. Because we know we're buying 3/4 of a kilogram, we could have just worked out 3/4 of 11. So we could have taken our 11, divided it by 4 to get a quarter, and then times that number by 3 to find the cost of 3/4 of a kilogram. That would work. We could even say that it costs £11 for 1,000 grams, and then we could find the cost for 1 gram and then multiply by 750 grams. So, there's different approaches that you could use in this question. In this case, I just found that £11 was the cost for 1 kilogram, and I multiplied that by 3/4 because that's 3/4 of a kilogram, and then that was my answer. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, let's have a look at question number 9. So question number 9 says a kilogram of raisins costs £3.80. We've been asked to calculate the cost of 650 grams of raisins. So this question is quite similar to the previous question, apart from this time we've got 650 grams, which isn't as nice as 750, which is 3/4. Okay, but this time we're working on the cost of 650 grams of raisins. Now, there's a few different approaches we could use in this question. One approach is we could say that £3.80 is 1,000 grams, then find the cost of 1 gram, and then find the cost of 650 grams, and that would work. I'm going to change the 650 grams into kilograms. So to convert from grams into kilograms, we divide by 1,000. So if we divide 650 by 1,000, so 650 divided by 1,000, that's equal to 0.65 kilograms, just dividing it by 1,000. So that means that 650 grams is 0.65 kilograms. Now we know how the cost of 1 kilogram, which is £3.80, and if we multiply that by how much we're buying, which is 0.65 kilograms, so 0.65, we can then find the cost of 650 grams of raisins, or 0.65 kilograms of raisins. So £3.80 multiplied by 0.65 is equal to £2.47. So £2.47. So that means the raisins would cost £2.47, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at question number 10. So question number 10 is a non-calculator question. Just put the calculator down. And we've got some prices of rice, lentils and sugar. And we've got the cost per 100 grams in this question. So it's not always cost per kilogram. It can be cost per 100 grams and so on. So we've got for rice is 22p per 100 grams. Lentils are 28p per 100 grams. And sugar is 80p per 100 grams. Okay, so James buys 300 grams of rice. So each 100 grams costs 22p. And he buys 300 grams, so that's 3 lots of that. So if we multiply 22p by 3, we'll find the cost of 300 grams of rice. So 22p multiplied by 3 is equal to 66p. So that means that 300 grams of rice would cost 66p by just multiplying 22p by 3, and that'd be the cost of 300 grams. Now the lentils, so let's focus on the lentils now. So the lentils, we're buying 150 grams of lentils and they cost 28p per 100 grams. So if we were buying 150 grams of lentils, we would buy 100 grams, and 100 grams would cost 28p. And then we'd need another 50 grams, so we'd half this, so 50 grams would be equal to, if we half this, this would be equal to 14p. And then if we wanted to find 150 grams, we would just add together the cost of 100 grams and 50 grams. So if we do 28 plus 14, that's equal to 42p. So that means that it would cost 42p for 150 grams. So the lentils cost 42p. And finally for the sugar. So for the sugar, James buys a kilogram of sugar. Now a kilogram is 1,000 grams, so 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, and he buys 1,000 grams of sugar. Now the sugar costs 80p for 100 grams. Well, 1,000 grams would be 10 lots of that. So we need to do 10 lots of 80p. So if we do 80p multiplied by 10, that's equal to 800p, or £8. And that means that James would spend £8 on the sugar, and that's quite expensive for sugar, so it must be some quite good sugar. And so James spends 66p on the rice, he spends 42p on the lentils, and £8 on the sugar. And we've been asked to work out the total cost. So we need to do £8, or 800 pence, plus 66 pence, plus 42 pence. And when we add those together, we get 0 plus 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. 0 plus 6 plus 4 is equal to 10, so put our 0 down, carry our 1, and 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. So it costs 908 pence, or £9, 8 pence. And that's it, so that's the total cost. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 11. Okay, let's have a look at question number 11. So question number 11 says, Jasmine buys 6 kilograms of apples and 5 kilograms of oranges, and the total price is £28.20. The apples cost £2.70 per kilogram. Work out the cost of 1 kilogram of oranges. So in this question, we're trying to find the cost per kilogram of the oranges. So let's have a look and see what we've been given. We've been told that Jasmine buys 6 kilograms of apples, and the apples cost £2.70 per kilogram. So if we multiply the cost per kilogram, the £2.70, by the number of kilograms that Jasmine bought, which is 6, that will tell us the cost of the 6 kilograms of apples. So £2.70 multiplied by 6 is equal to £16.20. So £16.20. That means that the apples cost £16.20 in total. Now we know the total price is £28.20. So if we take away the cost of the apples, we'll be left with how much the oranges cost. So if we take our £28.20 and we subtract £16.20, that's equal to £12. That means the oranges cost £12 in total. And she bought 5 kilograms of oranges. So that means if we take our £12, the amount of money spent on oranges, and we divide it by 5, that'll tell us how much it costs per kilo. And that'll tell us the cost of 1 kilogram of oranges. So 12 divided by 5 is equal to 2.4. Because we're dealing with money, that would be £2.40. So it's £2.40 per kilogram. So that's the cost of the oranges, £2.40 per kilogram. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at question number 12. Okay, question number 12 says, asparagus costs £8.30 per kilogram and broccoli costs £2.50 per kilogram. And Julie buys 460 grams of broccoli and some asparagus, and the total cost is £6.96. How much asparagus did Julie buy? So in this question, what we need to do is we need to work out the cost of the broccoli to begin with, because the broccoli costs £2.50 per kilogram and Julie buys 460 grams of broccoli. So let's change it into kilograms. So 460 divided by 1,000 is equal to 0.46. So that means that she buys 0.46 kilograms of broccoli. So Julie buys 0.46 kilograms of broccoli, and each kilogram costs £2.50. So if we take the £2.50 and we multiply that by the number of kilograms that Julie buys, which is 0.46, that will tell us the cost of the broccoli. So £2.50 multiplied by 0.46 is equal to £1.15. So it costs £1.15 for the broccoli. Now Julie buys broccoli and asparagus, so if we take the cost of the broccoli, which is £1.15, away from the total cost, we can see how much money Julie spends on the asparagus. So if we take our £6.96 and we take away £1.15, then that would tell us how much money Julie spends on the asparagus. So £6.96 subtract £1.15 is equal to £5.81, so £5.81. That means the asparagus costs £5.81. So that's the amount of money that's spent on the asparagus, and we know that it costs £8.30 per kilogram. So we can see she's bought less than a kilogram of asparagus, because if she bought a kilogram of asparagus, it would have cost £8.30, but she's only spent £5.81. Now to find out how much asparagus Julie bought, we need to divide how much she spent on it, the £5.81, by how much it costs per kilogram, the £8.30. And if we divide £5.81 by £8.30, that will tell us how many kilograms of asparagus Julie bought. So if we do £5.81 divided by £8.30, that's equal to 0.7. So that means that she bought 0.7 kilograms of asparagus, and that's it. So how much asparagus did Julie buy? 0.7 kilograms, or 700 grams. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So question number 13, we've got this price list for salmon, cod and haddock and how much they cost per kilogram. And we're told that Tyler's got £60 to spend on salmon, cod and haddock. He buys 1.2 kilograms of salmon, he buys 0.8 kilograms of haddock, and he spends the rest of his money on cod. How much cod does Tyler buy? Okay, so to begin with, let's work out how much money Tyler spends on salmon and how much money he spends on haddock. And then once we know how much money he spends on salmon and haddock, we can then know how much money he spends on cod, because we know how much money he's got all together, and then we'll be able to work out how much cod he actually buys. So let's focus on the salmon to begin with. So the salmon. So for the salmon, he buys 1.2 kilograms and it costs £18.90 per kilogram. So if we take the £18.90 and we multiply by 1.2, that'll be how much money he spends on salmon. So £18.90 multiplied by 1.2 is equal to £22.68. So that costs £22.68. Now, in terms of the haddock, the haddock costs £18.15 per kilogram, so that's £18.15, and he buys 0.8 kilograms, so 0.8. So if we multiply £18.15 by 0.8, that's equal to £14.15. and 52p. So that means that Tyler spends £22.68p on salmon, he spends £14.52p on haddock, and he spends the rest of the money on cod. Now altogether he had £60. So if we add these two amounts together, that'll tell us how much he spends on the salmon and the haddock, and let's take that away from 60 to see how much money's left for cod. So if we do £22.68p plus £14.52p, that's equal to £37.20p. So that means he spends £37.20p on the salmon and the haddock, and then if we take £60 and we take away the £37.20p, that's equal to £22.80. So that's £22.80. So that means that Tyler spends £22.80 on cod. And it costs £16 per kilogram. So you can see he actually buys more than a kilogram because a kilogram is £16. He doesn't buy 2 kilograms, that'd be £32. So it's going to be between 1 and 2 kilograms. And if we divide how much he spends, the £22.80p, by the cost per kilogram, which is £16, that would tell us how much cod Tyler buys. So £22.80p divided by 16 is equal to 1.425 kilograms. So that means that Tyler buys 1.425 kilograms of cod, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at question number 14. And it's a non-calculator question, so I'm going to put down my calculator. And we're told that carrots cost 60p per kilogram, mushrooms cost 30p per 100 grams, and potatoes cost 80p per kilogram. And Grace bought 2.4 kilograms of carrots, mushrooms, and potatoes in the ratio of 2 to 1 to 5. Work out how much Grace spent in total. So she buys 2.4 kilograms of, I was going to say vegetables, but are mushrooms a vegetable? I'm not entirely sure. But she buys 2.4 kilograms of food in the ratio of 2 to 1 to 5. So if we divide or if we share the 2.4 kilograms in this ratio, we'll know how much carrots she bought, we'll know how much mushrooms she bought, and we'll know how much potatoes she bought. And then we'll be able to work out the cost of each of them and then add them together to get the grand total of the price. So we need to divide the 2.4 kilograms in this ratio. So to divide the ratio, we'll do 2 plus 1 plus 5. That's equal to 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 5 is 8. So it's 8 parts in total. So if we take our 2.4 kilograms and we divide that by 8, that's equal to, well, 2.4 divided by 8. Well, 24 divided by 8 is 3. So 2.4 divided by 8 would be 0.3 kilograms. You could change it to 2,400 grams and divide by 8, and that's equal to 300 grams. But 300 grams or 0.3 kilograms is the same thing. So we know that now that there's 0.3 kilograms in one part. Now we know that she buys 2 parts of carrots, 1 part of mushrooms, and 5 parts of potatoes. So we now just need to multiply this by 2, by 1, and by 5 to see how much carrots, mushrooms, and potatoes she bought. So we'll take our 0.3 kilograms and we'll multiply that by 2, and that's equal to 0.6 kilograms. So she bought 0.6 kilograms of carrots. We'll take our 0.3 kilograms and we'll multiply that by 1. Well, we don't really need to do that, but that's equal to 0.3 kilograms. So she buys 0.3 kilograms of mushrooms. And in terms of the potatoes, that's 0.3 kilograms multiplied by that number in the ratio, which is 5. And 0.3 times 5 is 1.5. So that's 1.5 kilograms of potatoes. So that's 1.5 kilograms of potatoes. And we're asked to work out how much Grace spent in total. So we now know that she bought 0.6 kilograms of carrots, she bought 0.3 kilograms of mushrooms, and she bought 1.5 kilograms of potatoes. Now we need to work out the cost of each of those. And then once we work out the cost of each of those, then we can add them all together to get the grand total. So let's start off with the potatoes, okay? So the potatoes. And I'm doing this on purpose because the carrots is actually probably the trickiest one out of the three. So let's start with the potatoes. She buys 1.5 kilograms. So we know that 1 kilogram costs 80p, so 80p for a kilogram. She needs another 0.5, another half a kilogram. So that's 0.5 kilograms. So if we half it, we can find the cost of 0.5 kilograms, and half of 80 is 40p. So it means a kilogram costs 80p, half a kilogram costs 40p. So if we add them together, that's 1.5 or 1.5 kilograms, and 80 plus 40 is equal to 120 pence or £1.20. So that means the potatoes cost £1.20. So they cost £1.20, so £1.20. Now let's do the mushrooms. Okay, so the mushrooms cost 30p per 100 grams. So 100 grams costs 30p. We want to find the cost of 300 grams of mushrooms, or 0.3 kilograms, which is 300 grams. That's 300 grams. So 300 grams of mushrooms. Well, if 100 grams costs 30p, we just times that by 3. So 30 times 3 is equal to 90p. So that means the mushrooms cost 90p. And that's it. Okay, now let's deal with the carrots. So the carrots. There's a few different ways we can deal with the price of the carrots, okay? One is we know the cost per kilogram, which is 60p. So we'll take that 60p and we can multiply that by how many kilograms of carrots that were bought, which was 0.6. So we could do 60 times 0.6 and get what that is. So let's do 60 times 0.6. So 60 times 6 is equal to, 60 times 6 is equal to 360, because 6 times 6 is 36, and then putting the 0 on. So 60 multiplied by 0.6, we'll divide that by 10, would be 36. So that means that would be equal to 36p. So that means that the carrots would cost 36p, and we've done that by taking the 60p for a kilogram and multiplying it by 0.6. So I done 60 times 6, which was 360, and divided it by 10 to get 36p. So that's one way we could work out the cost of the carrots. Another way we could have done it was, well, we bought 600 grams of carrots and the 60p for a kilogram. So if it's 60p for 1,000 grams, it would be 6p for 100 grams. And then we're buying 600 grams, so that's going to be 6 lots of 6, and 6 times 6 is 36p. So that's the cost of the carrots. So now we know that the carrots cost 36p, and we know the mushrooms cost 90p, and we know the potatoes cost £1.20. We can add them all together to get the total price. So let's do that. So £1.20, or 120p, 90p, and 36p. And let's add them together and see what we get. 0 plus 0 plus 6 is 6. 2 plus 9 is equal to 11, plus 3 is equal to 14, so put our 4 down and carry a 1, and 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So that would be £2.46, and that's it. And that's it. So these have been the video solutions to the cost per kilogram practice questions. I really hope you found this video useful. If you need any extra help on cost per kilogram, video 400k on Corbettmaths will bring you to the video tutorial on cost per kilogram. And there's lots of videos around that video 400 with money questions, so they're all quite useful. Alternatively, you could scan this QR code and bring you straight to it. But again, I really hope you found this video useful. If you have found it useful, please like it and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.